What would you do if you were given 7 days to live, but you had to share every single physical sensation and emotion with a total stranger? And the kicker? At the end of the week, one of you has to die permanently. I walked into half and half expecting the usual Seo-verse drama. You know, the high school romance and repetitive circles. But what I found was a distilled 13-chapter masterpiece that absolutely wrecked me. Kouji Seo is usually known for sprawling 200-chapter epics like A Town Where You Live. But this series proves that when he's forced to be concise, he's actually at his best. The story kicks off with what I call the nosedive meeting. Shinichi Nakagawa, a guy who feels like a total failure after failing his art school exams, is walking down the street when Yuki Sanada falls off a roof and lands right on him. They both die instantly, but a mysterious voice, or God, grants them a 7-day reprieve. The catch? They are tethered. If they move too far apart, they both die. But more importantly, their lives are halved. They share physical pain, exhaustion, and even their most private emotions. Before we get into why this share pain mechanic makes the romance so much deeper than your average shonen drama, do me a huge favor, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you love deep dive manga reviews. It really helps the algorithm show this to more readers and keep this midlife comic geek fueled on caffeine and ink. What I love most is how this supernatural premise acts as a narrative pressure cooker, because they feel each other's guilt and anger. There is no room for the typical miscommunication tropes that plague Seo's other works like Suzuka. Shinichi starts as this somewhat ruthless guy who just wants to survive, while Yuki is initially flippant and resigned to her death because she was betrayed by her only friend. But as they literally carry the burden of each other's trauma, like Shinichi helping Yuki face her betrayal, or Yuki helping Shinichi deal with his senile grandmother, they develop a bond that feels more visceral and earned than relationships that take hundreds of chapters to develop. Visually, Seo is at the top of his game here. Even the not safe for work elements, while present, they felt like they had thematic weight. When they eventually consummate their relationship, the idea of feeling that intimacy from both perspectives at once was actually quite touching and symbolic of their souls merging. It's Ecchi with an actual soul, which, let's be honest, is a rare find in the genre. Now, it's not a perfect ride. If you aren't a fan of Seo being Seo, the early chapters might feel a bit jarring. He leans into his classic habits pretty early. Think scenes involving masturbation or awkward showers, which some might find unnecessary for such a serious story. It's that classic I'm crying but also I'm a bit horny vibe that only certain manga fans can truly navigate without rolling their eyes. Also, Seo definitely suffers from same face syndrome. If you've read Fuuka or Suzuka, the characters will look almost identical to those casts, which can be distracting if you're trying to view this as a standalone tragedy. Lastly, the ending utilizes the babies ever after trope. Without spoiling the exact mechanics, some readers find this cliched or a bit of rage bait ending. Personally, I think it served that theme of Shinichi living on through his influence, but I can see why a cynical reader might throw their tablet across the room. Despite the cliches, the ending of Half and Half hit me way harder than Angel Beats or even some of the big name tragedies. If you're looking for a bit of hope, you have to find the volume 2 extra, often called chapter 14. It hints at a faraway future where their souls reincarnate and meet again, bound by the red string of fate. Overall, this is a 9 on 10 for me. It's a masterclass in how to write a focused, heart-wrenching romance without all the fluff. If you want a story that will get you engaged, turn you on, and then jerk your tears all within 13 chapters, you need to read this now. What do you think of the ending? Was it a beautiful sacrifice or a cheap emotional shot? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this trip into Seoverse, make sure to subscribe to the channel and check out my playlists for more hidden gems that will break your heart in record time. Until next time, keep reading, keep geeking, and I'll see you in the next video.